All right, guys. We're now going to dive into standard forms used by realtor associations. And these are the addendums that are commonly left out of the residential rental agreement packet. So, with the residential rental agreement addendums that I'm going to be discussing, these are the must have for every renter, regardless of your state, your city, your locality, your county. Professional property managers, management companies, and private landlords alike are failing or sometimes outright refusing to include the most basic addendums that protect both. They protect the renters and the landlords alike. So, where do you start off with? Since I'm physically in North Carolina right now, I pulled up the North Carolina Realtors form list, and their form list is 5 pages long, but these are standard forms that normally you can find in any state. When you go, contact the Realtor Association or you look at it online, these are normally standard. As you can see, 5 pages. And normally it is the 400 series that governs residential rental agreements. So let's start with the move in, move out inspection. Yes, most lessors, being property management, property managers, private landlords, they tend to have their own version of this form, which is great. However, I always suggest simply use the National Association of Realtors form as a supplement because it is easier to work with and you have space to actually write out defects and things like that. And in case you've never seen one, it's customary to have this form returned within 5 business days from the move-in date if you are not walking through doing it with the person who is signing the lease, the other party. Also, it is customary to have a copy ready in hand, actually 2 copies, when you're moving out, so that the move out inspection is completed with both parties. And as you look at the bottom, there are initials. Here is page 2 of it, and this document is 3 pages long as well. Me personally, I always want to make sure that everything is matching. So I bring a copy of the move in inspection when I am moving out. So that way, things can be compared in real time. Once again, if your lessor, being a property management company or a private landlord, if they have their own version of this form, this is just a supplement that cannot hurt. It only serves to greater protect. Do not be afraid or ashamed to pull it out, okay? Now, when you look at page 3, when you look at where it says tenant and landlord, you see in parentheses it says seal. Okay, I look at documents all day, every day. I actually have a personal embossed seal with my name on it that says individual. And I pull it out and I use it in situations like this. The seal only serves for evidentiary purposes, authentication, because Nobody else should be using your individual seal. It is the same as a seal at the courthouse, a seal on your birth certificate, a seal on company documents. It is a seal and it serves for authentication to say you authorize that. That is your signature. That is your seal. There should not be anything else that is required to prove that is you, you, you. Okay? Next, we need to have an early termination, addendum. Yes, there's a form for that as well. It is always better to break that rental agreement early than to be evicted for non-payment of rent as due. Okay? Bowing out gracefully, communicate with the lessor, and acknowledge, accept that your circumstances have changed in your life. That is being responsible. Now, on page 1, it says the lease is going to remain in effect until that property is re-rented. That is an option that needs to be discussed at move-in, not move out. It needs to be discussed then, okay? It needs to be solidified then, okay? Page 2 is where we talk about an early termination fee. Okay, this is the flip side where you gotta buy yourself out of that contract. That I will take that option any day because you don't know when that property is going to be re-rented. That property that you can't afford to pay for now, you're still on the hook for paying for an undisclosed amount of time. If you can't pay for it now, I can guarantee you can't pay for it for the next 3 to 6 months while paying for wherever it is you're staying now. If you can come to an agreement on an early termination fee, yes, just like them cell phones, just like cable, an early termination fee. That would be preferred because it's easier to work with a solidified number than it is to work with the unknown. Okay? That's just my 2 cents, but this is the information. Next, we have the military clause addendum. Okay, we still have people who are of age and stamina to be able to enlist in our armed forces. Should they decide to do so, they need to know that they're protected and that they can break their lease. Yes, most standard leases include a blurb about, military service. This is nothing more than a supplement to that blurb that gives greater clarity because service members are protected by the Service Members Civil Relief Act or the SCRA, and it allows them to break their lease without any penalty, without paying that undisclosed amount for an undisclosed amount of time, without paying any early termination fees. This is one of those, few protections for our military. And as you can see, it has to be, signed and acknowledged by all 3 parties. Next, we're going to embark upon a 2-prong, process. We're going to start off with the maintenance addendum. This one right here is for the tenant, okay? It basically takes you by the hand. It treats you like you're 2. And it tells you, hey, you are responsible for everything up here. Okay, this is why the move-in, move-out inspection is so critical because if something is in dire state when you move in, you are not obligated to try and keep it up. If it is in a dire state, if it is, a danger, that is something that should have been corrected before you moved in. But in the event, it was something that they couldn't have possibly known, hey, these things help govern what you can do, as a normal person, and it draws the line, okay? This right here is 2 pages long. And, it covers everything from the vehicles to fire safety to locks to pests, okay? Now, it also goes into talk about mold and mildew. You have an obligation, you have a responsibility to do your best to prevent the mold, the moisture, and the mildew. Okay? You have an obligation to do your best. When it gets out of your control, you need to contact your property manager, your landlord. As I state, if it is not written or recorded, then it does not exist. It did not happen. Okay? Get it in writing. Get it acknowledged by all parties so everyone is on the same playing field. Do this when you start, and you should not have issues as you carry along with that relationship. As always, the facts do not lie. People lie about the facts and they distort the facts. Okay, but facts don't lie. Get them pictures, get the video. It is all part of the package. Now we're looking at what's normal wear and tear. Okay, because normal wear and tear is exactly what it is. Okay. However, as with anything, there are limits to normal wear and tear. Okay. Normal wear and tear is little Timmy spills a cup of, red Kool-Aid on the carpet. What is not normal wear and tear is Fifi or Fido ripping out the whole center of the living room carpet. That is not normal wear and tear. Okay? That is excessive. That is damage that you will probably be accounted for. Okay? Okay. We need to be on the same playing field. This only helps to solidify that everyone is in agreement. Second of all, when problems arise, make contact immediately. Jot down when you made contact. Okay? It's always best to do it in writing. Send a short email, send a text message. Okay? Because calling on the phone, people get caught up and they forget. They're human, okay? While they should have a database, logging these, a lot don't. Some have transitioned to online sending in requests. However, we know that going online sometimes has its own specific set of challenges, especially if you're the 98-year-old grandma who's living in a privately owned rented house. Okay? I'm not saying she can't and she ain't and she won't and she don't. I'm saying it brings its own special set of challenges. Okay? Next, we're looking at page 2. Remember, the residential rental agreement is a contract. It is a legal document that is being executed between the parties. Okay, and we have a growing percentage of private landlords who are flocking to the internet to download these templates. But they are templates, they are guides, they are designed to be customized. And because private landlords normally are not realtors, they are not normally well versed in these addendums, okay? As I stated, this is to be used in conjunction with the maintenance addendum. And this is to ensure all the parties are in agreement as it pertains to maintenance, including normal wear and tear. These are all designed to work together. Now, for people like me who use an assistance animal, okay, this addendum is to ensure both parties understands that an assistance animal, also known as a service animal, is on the property. And it helps to ensure that everyone, both parties, are well aware of their rights as they pertain to the animal. Now, we've all seen people outright lie about Fifi and Fido being a service animal. We've seen it at Walmart, Target, Ollie's, Burlington, Five Below. We've seen it everywhere. And, employees are not trained on how to ascertain whether Fifi and Fido is really a service animal or they're really somebody's pocket pooch. Okay? Those of us who are experienced assistance animal handlers, number one, we probably walking around with handler cards on our person to hand out and to educate others, because I do. I have a pack of at least 50 that I keep on me at any given point in time, because my job is to educate versus eviscerate. Okay? So, there are two questions, that can be asked by law. And these companies need to train their employees, because their employees are scared to ask because people are just weird and unpredictable, and their life is not worth trying to ascertain if Fifi or Fido is really pet or service animal. And it should not be like that. It should not, but it is. In housing, yes, there are prohibited breeds depending on where you reside. However, that does not apply to service animals, because you can have any breed of dog and even a miniature horse, aka a pony, as a service animal. Absolutely, because I've seen people walk up into PetSmart with their friggin' ponies as service animals, and it was the greatest thing I ever saw. The only thing I can't do is they drop monster poop. And me, I'm not cleaning up monster poop. I'm not trying to figure out how the hell to get a horse in an apartment. No, no, no. But we have a lot of people who live out on farms and everything who really do have ponies for service animals, and I applaud them. I definitely applaud them. I definitely, applaud them. Now, my service dog is a blue-nosed American Staffordshire Pit Bull Terrier. Okay. I have a seizure disorder. I can't use a teacup Yorkie because my animal gets under my head and protects my head during a seizure episode. I would kill a teacup Yorkie as big as my head is if it tried to get under my head. My dog will drag me out of danger, as she has, as I've had, a seizure trying to open my car door. My dog has pulled me out of the street, onto the grass, because that's what she's trained to do. A teacup Yorkie, that's not going to work. Cute, but she can't drag not even my wig nowhere, okay? She's not designed for that. The service dog cannot be prohibited because of breed, okay? Federal law, state law, local laws are all in agreement that nobody can ask for any documentation because there's no federal registry. North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services offers service animal registration as a courtesy, and it is free, and I actually have it while I'm not required to show it. They cannot mandate you put a vest on that dog, okay? Because that incurs extra, financial liabilities. And once again, there is no fund to provide those federally, locally, or statewide. So, no, they can't require it. And the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1993 strictly prohibits it. Okay? That's just a little bit of a info for you. And I'll go into assistant animals in another, session. These are the standard forms that are used by realtor associations, and that these addendums that I went over are commonly left out of the residential rental agreement. What I will do is I will take and I will post all of these forms and the form list online as a PDF that can be downloaded. So that way you guys can go and get at least these anytime you need, and you can print them anytime you need. You can use them electronically in Adobe anytime you need, and they can be signed, sealed, delivered electronically anytime you need. I will also try to go through and put them online as web forms. That way, if you need to have them done electronically, it is nothing more than going onto my site and downloading the web forms and using them for your specific needs. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out of today's session, and I look forward to bringing some information to you soon. Thank you much.